cleaner way to clean your floors.
Hey, Pete, how's business?
It's great. Foot traffic's still way down, but more people are finding me online.
Nice. How'd you pull that off?
Well, the first thing I did was go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there were for businesses like mine.
So I guess there were a lot?
Yeah, there were hundreds of local searches every month. So after I saw that, they helped me position my business online to get in front of those customers.
That's awesome. I wonder how many people are searching for my services around here.
Well, it's quick and easy to get the answer. Plus, it's free. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com to find out. If there are a lot of searches, you should definitely get in front of them. If there aren't, no harm, no foul.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
When you hear this,
they've got him again,
and this,
he scored,
and this,
oh boy, what a move by Embiid!
You think of us. We are sports. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
You know, I said all along I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies returned to Philadelphia. 1-1 tie for this series. And last night was the embodiment of why nobody in their right mind has picked this team to win the World Series. So we'll get to the Phillies here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Don't forget our weekly conversation coming up in about less than 20 minutes from now with Gino Torretta, the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner and college football analyst for Touchdown Radio. We'll ask his thoughts on the latest around college football. Also, we'll give some thoughts on the NFL. And like I said, you can join the conversation. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. You also can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. I'm going to get to the Phillies, then I'll get to the Eagles news, because the Eagles got some very, very good news today. Now, what it'll mean for them long term, well, that's to be seen. But we'll get to the Eagles up just a bit. But I want to start with the Phillies because, you know, last night was one of those nights where, you know, if you followed me on social media long enough, at Josh Hennig on Twitter, you know that I'm not the person who tweets about every single little thing. It's not my style. It's not who I am because, one, social media is, in my opinion, the virtual form of a toxic environment, okay? It's a cesspool of either people telling you what you want to hear or what you want to think, or it's a cesspool of people trying to basically mess with you, all right? Either way, it's a cesspool to me. So I try to limit how much time I spend on social media. And even now, it's probably more than I probably should be. Number one. Number two, there's no nuance on social media, okay? When you're putting out posts with 280 characters, right? Or you're trying to post a reel on Instagram, it has to be 90 seconds. Or you're on whatever platform you're on. People don't take the time to always fully understand what you're saying. So the one reason why I love this platform, okay, on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, is because I can explain things and open my mind in conversation in ways that just can't happen on Twitter. I get texts at 609-403-0973 that are longer than tweets on Twitter. So even you guys understand who are listening to the sound of my voice that whether you're listening on the app or listening on the radio, you know that there are certain things you just can't convey in a Twitter, for example, conversation. And the reason why I abstained from Twitter last night is because last night was the embodiment to me for why the Phillies are not a World Series contender. Why at no point in time I thought they were one of the 3 best teams in the National League. And it's because of the fact that the Phillies offense is hot and cold. It's Jekyll and Hyde. It's heads or tails. It's North and South Pole. It is the most bizarre thing I can wrap my mind around. The fact that you have a team with this much talent, all right? The guy who won the MVP last year, the guy who led the league in home runs this year, speaking of Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, arguably the best hitting catcher in baseball, JT Realmuto. One of the best contact hitters in the game today, Gene Segura. You have all these guys. And don't forget, Castellanos historically has good numbers before this year's up and down season. You have hitters on this team. And yet you got shut out last night by Kyle Wright and the Braves bullpen. I don't care what anyone says about Kyle Wright. I am telling you what my eyeballs say and what the metrics say. My eyeballs and the metrics say that this guy is not an elite pitcher. And last night, he did not pitch elite. He pitched good to very good. At the end of the day, his pitching was able to outlast Zach Wheeler. That's what happened last night. And for the Phillies, I had this question in September. I had this question in May, and I'm going to ask the question again. These players got to wake up. It's not like you got Kyle Wright is probably the Braves' 3rd best pitcher, probably, this year. And last night, he gave up 0 runs in 6 innings and had 6 strikeouts. It's a good outing. Good pitcher. He's not elite. There's nothing about Kyle Wright's game that says this guy should be shutting you out for 6 innings. And don't tell me he has 21 wins on the year. Wins are more of a team stat than a pitcher stat, okay? I'm sure I can go through baseball history and find a slew of guys in the last 30 years who had a ton of wins who weren't elite pitchers. I mean, for goodness sake, didn't Bob Welch one year have 28, 30 wins? I mean, come on. Kyle Wright had a 3.19 ERA. That's 21st in the National League. 21st. He was tied for 25th in WHIP at 1.16. This is a guy in Kyle Wright who this year in the regular season had 174 strikeouts to 53 walks. Good ratio, not great. He also had fewer strikeouts than innings this year. 174 strikeouts, 180 in the 3rd innings. So there's nothing about this guy that screams elite, exceptional. But last night, the Phillies made this guy look like a Cy Young candidate. And this is what bothers me about this Phillies team. At some point, it can't be all about boom or bust, hot and cold. And I think this is where the conversation for people like me goes to. You watch the Braves night in and night out, and you know at some point their bats are coming. You know with Atlanta, at some point, the offense is going to wake up. You watch a team like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Yankees. You know at some point, the Mariners, the Astros, you know at some point that offense is going to what? Wake up. The Braves for the month of September, almost the entire month, they only had a handful of times that they scored 2 runs or less in a loss. And guess what? One of them was to the Phillies back on September 22nd. One of them is to the Nationals day before that. One of them was to the Marlins when they basically were sitting half of their team at that point, getting them ready for the postseason. And one of them was to the Seattle Mariners, who are, oh, that's right, also in the ALDS. This is a Braves team that you know from night to night that they are going to come up at some point in a moment and find a way to score runs. I don't have that belief in this Phillies team. And that's the reason why last night is symbolic. And it doesn't matter if they win this series or not. It doesn't matter what happens over the next 2 games. Unless this offense finds themselves and becomes all of a sudden a more consistent ball club, especially with runners in scoring position, it doesn't matter who's pitching for the Braves. The Phillies will lose. The next 2 games are in Philadelphia. Both games can be heard right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. 4:30 tomorrow, Mike Gill and the Sports Bash will lead you right into the game. And then on Saturday, 2 p.m., first pitch coverage begins at 1:30 p.m. here on your home for Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, NFL primetime, and the baseball playoffs, 97.3 ESPN FM. Speaking of tonight, no Yankees games. We will be bringing you Flyers home opener versus the Devils, followed by Thursday Night Football here on 97.3 ESPN FM. I mentioned earlier here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Thursday that we got some good news for the Eagles today. Well, that good news came in the form of the injury report. For the second straight day, there is nobody listed as a DNP. Nobody did not practice. Huge news, because this is the team, as I told you guys earlier this week, they need to be healthy if they want to be serious about beating the Cowboys on Sunday. And right now, Jordan Mailata is listed as a limited participant at practice. Big news. Jason Kelsey, limited at practice. Important news. Even Jake Elliott has been limited at practice. The Eagles may be, for the most part, healthy this Sunday night. And when you listen to the game on 97.3 ESPN FM, or if you're watching wherever you're watching with your friends and family, this should be, if you go by the injury report the last 2 days, a healthy Eagles squad compared to the last 2 weeks. Now, obviously, injuries can happen in-game. We know that. It's football. But I am very encouraged by this news, because when you're going against a team that has Micah Parsons and Lawrence and all of those defensive talent on that side of the ball, the defense that I think, if they're not the best defense, they're one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the entire NFL down there in Dallas. You got to have your offensive linemen healthy. You got to have your best guys on the field, because one of the problems that happened in last week's game that has not been talked about enough is the Cardinals threw a lot of blitzes at the Eagles, and the Eagles at times struggled to deal with it. Now, part of it was because Jack Driscoll is playing left tackle, and he's your third string left tackle, okay? You're without your starter, Mailata, without his backup, Andre Dillard. So that's the first problem last week. Number 2, Kenneth Gainwell has trouble blocking anybody on a blitz. I'm sure that you, me, and everyone listening to the sound of my voice on 97.3 ESPN would have a shot at getting a blitz on Jalen Hurts because of the way Kenneth Gainwell blocks. He's got to be better. You're a professional football player. Figure it out. All right? And the other problem is that you saw that because Dickerson, Sayamalu, and Kelsey were all not 100%, you saw that at times when the Cardinals did that zigzag blitz where they would have guys cross over or they would have guys spread out the line, almost like a wide 9 formation, the Eagles were not always picking up the blitzer fast enough because either their lateral quickness was slowed down by half a second or because they just weren't recognizing things. So to me, a healthy offensive line is a huge key to the Eagles' success on Sunday. Pre-game coverage of Eagles football here on 97.3 ESPN FM at 7 p.m. on Sunday night. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick on the call here for your home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN FM. Coming up, we'll talk some college football with 1992 Heisman Trophy winner and college football analyst for the Touchdown Radio Network. Gino Torretta joins me every Thursday here on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2022 season this Sunday night against their NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys.
We circled this date the second the schedule comes out. There's nothing normal about playing against the Dallas Cowboys.
Pre-game coverage starts at 7 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 8:20. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent, with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and he can't take it with him. Well, I went to work and found Ray, who's 40 and takes medication to control his high blood pressure, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. That's way more coverage for a lot less than what he was paying. If Select Quote didn't shop for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-346-1122. That's 1-800-346-1122. 1-800-346-1122. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop. You save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing. I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Chest up, engage your core, dig
At
deep.
Misty's gym, boot camp gets pretty close to the real thing. She wants to spot a personal trainer with a military background.
I can cover this week's boot camp, but we need someone stat. Is it your cousin a Marine?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Welcome to a late night edition of What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. We've got Sean on the line. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm too stressed about my coverage to sleep? Like, what if I don't have enough? Or what if I need to change it?
Oh, if you can't sleep, just give us a ring. We're available 24/7. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, great. What if I just take a little nap?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Son, get in the car.
No, Dad, not your car. It smells horrid and it looks awful. I'm scared, Dad. I'm really scared.
Is your old car really scary? Matt Platt Mitsubishi wants your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Push, pull, even drag it in to Matt Platt Mitsubishi and get more for your trade when you purchase any select new 2022 Mitsubishi SUV, plus every new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or Outlander SUV. Put zero down and pay only 2.9% financing. Worried that your credit will make car buying scary? Matt Platt Mitsubishi knows bad things happen to good people. We finance your future, not your past, even if your credit is less than perfect. Simply Matt Platt Mitsubishi. Approved with Tier 1 credit. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Go to mattplattmitsubishi.com for complete details. Plus tax, license, registration fees. Offers can't be combined. Expires 11/5/22. So come in today and get your deal your way. Located right in the heart of Glassboro for over 30 years.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll check out what you guys have to say in a little bit here on Game Night. Text board is open at 609-403-0973. You also could DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. College football this weekend. I can't believe it's already the middle of October. It's week 6 in the NFL, week 7 in college football. I mean, where is the time gone? It's like you wait all year for football, and now it's running past you, and you get more into the weekend in college football. He is the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner, national champion at Miami, and of course, he is also the Touchdown Radio football analyst for Touchdown Radio Game of the Week. This week is interesting. Michigan State and Wisconsin. Get more into that. Gino Torretta joining us right now, as is each week here on 97.3 ESPN. Gino, how you doing today?
Josh, I'm doing good. We're right in the meat of the schedule, but you are right. A blink of an eye, and you're like, holy crap, the season's half over. Right. And you go from the doldrums of no ball to ball, and then it's gone in a blink of an eye.
It's crazy. So before we get to your game specifically, Gino, I want to ask you, as we always do, kind of like a looking back question. And what I want to ask you about is, when you're looking at, you said the meat of the schedule, is there a team or a player or a situation that now we have more information that you say, now that I have more information on this player or this team, that either excites you, disappoints you? Like, I want to get the audience inside the mind of Gino Torretta here.
Well, I think I'd probably say Ohio State. I think with what they've done with Marvin Harrison Jr., just lighting it up. And Jigba Smith, their starter, their stud receiver, all-American, has been out. They haven't been 100%. And C.J. Stroud has just been absolutely phenomenal this season. I would say them. I think even Tennessee with Hendon Hooker, he's the second oldest quarterback in college football behind Stetson Bennett. And he's played lights out. and he's got Tennessee in the mix. And I think that, you know, if he plays as well as he has through the course of the season, you know, they got a chance to beat Alabama at home, and especially with Bryce Young being banged up. But those are kind of two situations where I think, to me, Ohio State has clearly proven they're the best team in the country so far. They've just been money on offense, and their defense is playing a heck of a lot better than they did a season ago.
Last week, you had Ohio State. Folks heard that game right here on 97.3 ESPN as they basically ran away from Michigan State. And I think most people believe that Ohio State is the cream of the crop. But, you know, people know. You mentioned Harrison. You mentioned C.J. Stroud. People know Henderson. But what else is it about this Ohio State team that causes some people to think that they might be the best team in all of college football?
Well, I would say this, that besides, you know, Trevion Henderson, Mayan Williams in the backfield, their offensive line is massive. I mean, the smallest guys like 6'4", 310. Their right tackles 3'8", 6'8", 350. All these guys are big, and they just maul. I mean, they basically flat out mauled Michigan State up front. They gave Stroud all day to throw. They opened big holes, and I think that when you can, you know, do that and you win the line of scrimmage, that's what every coach will tell you. If you can win the line of scrimmage, you're going to win the football game, and that's where I just think that they have, with their dominant play up front on both sides of the ball. But I was really impressed with their offensive line. I mean, these kids are just massive out there today.
Ohio State right now, you said we're in the meat of the schedule. Their bye week is this weekend. I want to ask you, Gino, when you look ahead for them, they're 6-0 right now. They got Iowa, Penn State, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan. Gino, I got to admit, there's only two teams on that whole list that I think can have a competitive game. I mean, you got to play who's in front of you, but I mean, it's looking pretty good right now for Ohio State to get to the big game with Michigan undefeated here.
I want to know what the second team is. I know there's one team, and that's Michigan. I want to know what the second team is that can give them a competitive game. I just look at it's at Penn State, and you know, anytime you go to Happy Valley, weird stuff happens. So true. Okay. I will give you that. I just to me, I am sold because I think I was sold on their offense a year ago. But now that they've made changes on the defensive side of the ball and they're playing 1,000% better, that I don't see it. I think we have the Ohio State game in a few weeks where Iowa's defense is solid, but you know their offense I don't think their offense could score on you and I if we were playing defense. So
Gino, I think they need you at quarterback at Iowa.
I don't know. I got a few throws left in me, Josh. I don't know if I can move around. If I moved around too fast, I think I'd pull something.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I'm sure there's some Iowa fan listening to the sound of my voice right now. It's like, this guy's being a jerk. But I mean, Gino, I can't remember a team that was so like well-rounded defensively and so just pathetic offensively. Like it's like two different worlds. It's like the defense is a Division I college football defense at Iowa, and the offense might be like the freshman team at a high school.
Well, I don't think there's any question. When you're giving up less than 10 points a game, I think you should be able to win every single game. But you know, that's not the case, and they've been conservative. And I guess that's how they see they're going to be able to win games. But you know, and I know that Ohio State's going to be able to score when they play them. The offense has got to do something better than they have, and it's just you know, it's kind of disappointing when you have a defense that's playing that well to kind of almost you know, just waste it with the lack of production on the offensive side of the ball. But you know, we'll see. I mean, hopefully that, you know, Ferentz has been successful for a lot of years there at Iowa, and we'll see if they can get it turned around in a few weeks before they play the Buckeyes.
We'll stay in the Big Ten with Gino Torretta, 1992 Heisman Trophy winner. And, of course, the Touchdown Radio Network game of the week is this week Wisconsin versus Michigan State. And, Gino, these are two schools. Their programs right now are kind of in a period of transition. I think a lot of people had high hopes, or at least expectations of, hey, maybe Wisconsin wins the West. Maybe Michigan State, can be, competitive. And it seems like both of these schools are literally just, kind of, they're almost like in limbo at this point.
Well, I think what you're seeing with Michigan State, I think you see the positive of the transfer portal and the negative. The positive was last year when Mel Tucker wins 11 games, goes 11-2 in his second year, and then he gets a bunch of those transfer. They end up graduating, and you can't replenish that all of that talent that quickly, and they've kind of been disappointed. I think their quarterback, who set a record, Peyton Thornton set a record for touchdown passes a season ago. I think he's just forcing balls downfield. He's making too many mistakes and getting too many balls picked off. And I think Wisconsin, the interesting thing with Wisconsin, I think they're a lot better than their record is. They decide to fire Paul Chryst. I don't know, from looking at it from the outside in, I just have a guess that Jim Leonard, their defensive coordinator, is probably one of the best DCs in the country. He went to Wisconsin, 3-time All-American, 10-year NFL vet. I think it was almost like a early salvo of, hey, I don't want Nebraska, their athletic director thinking, I don't want Nebraska to poach our defensive coordinator as the head coach. I'm going to fire Paul Chryst because the season didn't start off as we wanted, and we'll let Coach Leonard be the head coach the rest of the season. If he does well, then we're going to make him the head coach. I think they're going to make him the head coach no matter what. But I really think it was almost like an advanced firing, just of saving Jim Leonard to keep him on their staff and keep him in Wisconsin. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, the start of the season, we thought that this was going to be a huge matchup, and that's why we picked it. And really just Wisconsin kind of got off, stumbled early, and Michigan State hasn't been able to replace, Kenneth Walker and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Wisconsin thing baffles me too, Gino. We talked about it a little bit last week, and I'll bring it up again. I mean, you lost to Ohio State. Everyone's losing to Ohio State. Like, I can't hold that against you. But it's almost like the Illinois loss is what drove everyone nuts, because it was Brett Bielema bringing his Illinois team in there. It was almost like they had like a moment of like, I don't know, can they plead just temporary insanity or something? Because it's like they were so upset about the Bielema loss. They like used that as the reason to be like, Paul, you're done.
And the bad thing is Illinois is a pretty good football team right now. That's the crazy thing, and it's like, and that's where I think that it wasn't necessarily like, hey, we're really disappointed in how Coach Chryst is doing, and this team is underachieving. I really think it was a firing to make sure they could keep their defensive coordinator, Leonard.
Crazy.
I mean, that's just it's just, you know what I mean? Is your team better off when you have to fire a head coach in the middle of the year, early in the season? Probably not. It's kind of in disarray. I mean, Coach Chryst' son is a graduate assistant on the Wisconsin staff. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just to me, it's kind of head scratching. But I really think they did it as an advanced shot in saying, hey, we want Leonard as our offensive or our head coach. We don't want Nebraska or any of these other coach or any of these other jobs that are open. We don't want them coming to get our guy, and we're going to keep him. I think there was probably other ways to do it, but that's how they decided to do it.
Yeah, 5-1 Illinois with not one, not two, but three quarterbacks from Jersey on their roster. I mean, what are the odds of that? But I mean, no offense.
Come on, there's good football in the Northeast. You guys supplied Joe all that talent for years. Now just they're going to some of the other schools.
Right now they're going to Illinois, right?
There you go. There you go.
They're staying in the Big Ten. Gino, let's get to a couple other things before I let you go around college football. One more thing in the Big Ten. Penn State, Michigan. I know to some people they may be surprised this is a top 10 matchup, but Penn State at 10, Michigan at 5. To me, this is going to be a fascinating game that's going to be happening before your game does, because, this is a game that could really lay out the groundwork for what happens down the road if at some point Ohio State trips.
Well, I think, and people forget Penn State went on the road and smoked Auburn.
Yep.
And I think that when you have Clifford, another, veteran, experienced quarterback, I think he's 24 years old, too older quarterback in his sixth year, he's not going to make mistakes. They're going to have a chance in every single game because of that. Now, do they have enough weapons, though, to hang with Michigan? I think Michigan's roster is better than Penn State's, and that. So, but I think you're right. I think this is a huge game, and anytime you got a guy, to me in college, it doesn't really matter, college or pro, and you got a guy under center that's experienced, not going to make mistakes, and can get you in the right place, you have a chance. You have a chance to win the game, and that's why I think this is it's a big game. But I think Michigan's gonna pull it out in the end.
Two more big games I want to ask you about, Gino. We mentioned it in passing earlier. Hendon Hooker and Tennessee are welcoming Alabama 6-0 versus 5-0. Rocky Top. They got College Game Day back there. I mean, I am so intrigued by this game because, to me, I want to see is one of the best offenses. I mean, they're statistically the best offense, arguably, in all of college football. Tennessee, can they do it against Nick Saban's Alabama?
Well, I think that's obviously the question, and why everybody's going to watch the game is, can this offense? They're going to run a ton of plays, and they're going to score points, and I think they're going to score points. I think that there's some holes, and there's been some weaknesses so far on the Alabama in their games. I think it's critical for Alabama. I think Bryce Young has got to play in this game. I don't think there's any question. I think his backup was prone. He fumbled the ball a couple of times last week against Texas A&M, and they were able to luckily get through it and get out of there with a victory. My question is really, it's on the Tennessee defense. Can Tennessee's defense hang enough or stop the Alabama offense enough and put Tennessee's offense back on the field in this game? And I think if they do that, I don't think there's any question that Tennessee definitely has a chance. I mean, this place is going to be absolutely bonkers. Rocky Top. The noise is going to be just unbelievable there. It's going to be a huge home field advantage for Tennessee. So, I think it's a great matchup. It's a great rivalry. I mean, probably better than most. It just hasn't been because Tennessee, hasn't been very good lately. But I think it's just going to be an awesome environment, awesome game, and I hope that Bryce Young, is able to play, and both teams are full strength, because I think this is going to be a great game.
And the moment you said Tennessee has not been that good in a while, a Peyton Manning commercial popped on the television here in the studio. So,
well, I think they've been decent since then. That's like 98. I mean, that's going back when you were a little kid. I'm still playing.
Oh my God. Just the timing of it was uncanny. The other game, before I let you go, the other big game of the weekend, Gino, I want to know, USC traveling to Utah. Can the Utes play spoiler? I know they've lost 2 games this year, but can the Utes bring to their house? They haven't lost at home, Utah. They've only lost on the road at Florida, at UCLA. So can Kyle Whittingham and his group spoil USC's drive for an undefeated season?
I don't think there's any question, because my concern after doing the USC-Stanford game was USC up front. I just didn't see it. Now, they've gotten better. I think they've gotten better and improved week in and week out. But I think that the toughness of Utah, I don't think there's any question that they can upset USC on the road. Now, if it becomes a shootout, I would take Caleb Williams and Addison and those guys. But I think Utah is going to give them a run.
Give him a follow on Twitter at Gino Torretta, the Touchdown Radio Network Game of the Week. Two teams that are in transition, Wisconsin and Michigan State. That's Touchdown Radio Network Game of the Week. And Gino Torretta will be on the call. The 1992 Heisman Trophy winner, national champion at the University of Miami. Gino Torretta joins us each week, talk college football here on 97.3 ESPN. Gino, always appreciate the time. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Sounds good, Josh. You too.
And, of course, our conversation with Gino Torretta being brought to you by my friends over at Jenkins. Jenkins & Sons are the one call you need to make. No need to call the drain guy, the heater guy, and the plumbing guy. Jenkins technicians are trained to do it all. For heating and air installation, service and maintenance, ductless air conditioning systems, water heaters, boilers, oil service, plumbing, and drain cleaning services. Call 609-641-6262. And visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. Coming up, we'll check you on the text board over at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And I'll give you some thoughts and picks for the weekend because no game night tomorrow. Phillies baseball at 4:30 and 2 o'clock on Saturday. Here you're home for the MLB playoffs. 97.3 ESPN. Tonight, Flyers hockey, the season opener for the Flyers versus the Devils in Philadelphia, followed by Thursday football. We got you covered on all the sports here on 97.3 ESPN, your home in South Jersey for Eagles football, Sixers, Flyers, Thursday, Sunday, Monday night primetime NFL games, college football, and the MLB playoffs.
Hey, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. Don't forget, you can listen to the Phillies and Braves NLDS Game 3 tomorrow on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Coverage begins at 4:30. I'll be on with a preview of the game on the Sports Bash starting at 2, leading you into the Phillies and Braves Game 3 tomorrow at 4:30. That's the Sports Bash with me, Mike Gill, from 2 to 4:30. Then Braves-Phillies Game 3 NLDS on 97.3 ESPN. And listen to the game on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Dine in for these amazing fall specials. Wednesday is crab night. 2 pounds of snow crab legs, $49.99. Or mix it up with 2 pounds of snow crab legs and 4 hard shells for $79.99. Thursdays are for the birds. Whatever the Eagles score on Sunday, you get to save on wings at Chicky and Pete's on Thursday. Plus, limited time fall specials, including bomb pork belly tacos and the garlic truffle burger. Wash it down with our pear elderflower mule or apple cider old fashioned. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. And we know Saturdays in the fall are special. Why? College football. And we have you covered with food and drink specials and the best in-game experience to watch your team or the college football game of the week. Come watch Penn State, Temple, Villanova, Notre Dame, Texas, Michigan, Georgia, and more. College football Saturdays are special at Chickies and Pete's.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstar batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You wash your hands, you brush your teeth, but what about the nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons. Sinusitis, colds, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Over 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying, best product I've ever used, and amazing. I love my Navage. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing the wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Listen up, South Jersey football fans. Are you interested in solar? Want a free roof? EMT Solar and Roofing has you covered. Visit ESPNsolar.com to see if your home qualifies for a free roof with solar installation. Don't wait, act now. Start saving thousands and virtually extinguish your electric bill. ESPNsolar.com is the place to go for your roofing or solar needs. No commitments, no hidden fees. Go to ESPNsolar.com to see if you qualify.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll get to you my thoughts about Thursday night football and a look ahead to the weekend in football. Because you know, game night tomorrow night, Phillies baseball, following Mike Gill in the Sports Bash, abbreviated to the Sports Bash, 4:30, Phillies first pitch. No weather issues tomorrow. It's a sunny day, no rain, no thunderstorms in the forecast. I'm done with weather delays. If you don't know why I'm not done with weather delays, well, you can talk to me off the radio when the microphone isn't on because, I'm over it. All right. Before we get to my picks, I promise I get to a text on the text board. Came a little bit earlier in the show. 609-403-0973 is the text board. And as always, you can DM the show through the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See y'all. Texter says, I want to know what you think, Josh. Should I play Russell Wilson with the shoulder issue against the Chargers or Wentz tonight against the awful Bears? Super flex in fantasy despite his awfulness. Wentz has put up fantasy numbers. Look, if that's your choice, I got to admit, I'm probably going Wentz. Here's why. Number one, you just mentioned, and I'm going to use your words, the Russell Wilson shoulder thing. That verbiage alone should scare anyone away from that situation. What on earth is a shoulder thing? Because that's what it is. We don't know exactly what's wrong with Russell Wilson's shoulder. It could be anything. Oh, he had a minor procedure on it. What does that even mean? I think that their offense is so bad right now. So bad. If that's your choices between Wilson and Wentz, I'm probably going Wentz. Because I'm telling you right now, the odds makers, remember I always tell you guys, the odds makers know something. Well, here's a perfect example of that. The odds makers know that some points are going to be scored tonight because it's a short week and these are two teams that are not familiar with each other. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but this number is going all the way down to 38. And the Washington team total is 19 right now. Frankly, one of two things is going to happen. Either the Bears are going to win a very low-scoring game, or Washington is going to win the game and is going to hit the over. Because you can't be at over under 19 and tell me that you feel comfortable about this game. Over the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, Mike in Hamilton chimes in and says, hey, Josh, good show as always. Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you listening. He says, does Cooper Rush stay the starter at quarterback if he wins against the Eagles? Do they put Dak back in? Thanks, man. Always enjoy listening. Well, Mike in Hamilton, we enjoy you listening to the show and engaging in conversation here. Here's the problem with the Cooper Rush Dak thing. They're not winning because of Cooper Rush. They're winning because of the defense. They're winning because they've gotten some explosive plays on offense. For one game, Noah Brown reminded me of Travis Fulgham a few years ago with the Eagles. That massive game that he had. I think Dallas has to put Dak in. But they also got to put Dak back in with the understanding that this offense in Dallas needs to be run less asking Dak to save you and more responsibly. You know, we say gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. When we say drink responsibly, the Cowboys either run their offense responsibly, and maybe Dak can actually get back to putting up big numbers. All right, some quick picks here being brought to you by my friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Inside Bally's off the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Bet, watch, and win all football season long. Plus, enjoy your favorite games from all over the world with 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, and plenty of comfortable seating. So head over to FanDuel Sportsbook off the boardwalk at Bally's in Atlantic City to get in on all the action this season. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, couple things. You heard me just tell you right now. I think that this is a stay-away game tonight. I think that the public is trending this game way too much. And if I had to place anything in this game, I'm probably going over the 220 passing yards for Wentz. If I had to go anything tonight. College football this weekend. I love the under in the Minnesota-Illinois game. Right now it's at 39. It's one of my favorite picks of the weekend. It's going to just be a rock fight this weekend. So thanks, Gino, Torretta, for joining the show. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Flyers hockey next.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One with a preview of NFL Primetime.
All right, thank you for the YouTube audience for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. We try to get you some extra content when the show is done. You know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I met a gentleman, very nice guy. He's a Raiders fan. I met him out there at the pool at Harrah's in Atlantic City after Billy Schweim's show. And I got to tell you, he brought up a good point. He said, Josh, you know, I haven't heard you giving out as many picks this year. And part of that reason is because I haven't had a lot of time. We're trying to squeeze in so much into an hour show. So I appreciate everybody watching on the post radio show, but still on the YouTube channel at Josh Hennig on YouTube, because I can give you more of my picks here. And if you've been following my picks, you know that I'm hitting at 62% of the college football picks. I'm hitting at 58% of the NFL picks. So not going to go heavy on the picks or the suggestions today. I'm going to go a little bit more of like a rundown of the college football weekend. If I have time, I'll probably try to do an exclusive YouTube-only show tomorrow night. So hit the like button, subscribe. Appreciate everybody for jumping in here and watching. I mentioned the Minnesota-Illinois game. I like the under in that because of the fact that you have an Illinois team that likes to have rock fights. And the only teams that Minnesota has scored big against this year is Western Illinois and Colorado. Western Illinois and Colorado are two very poor football teams. And then they scored 34 points against a Michigan State team that has one of the worst passing defenses in all of college football. Last week, Minnesota ran into Purdue and they lost 20-10. That tells you something very large right there and there. Okay? It's telling you that this game is probably going to be low scoring. And considering that Illinois won a game 9-6 last week, well, I think you're hearing what I'm saying here. A couple other games that I'm very intrigued by this weekend when it comes to the numbers. Again, as always, these are recommendations. These are not my telling you to go bet this or that. These are just my thoughts on some of the numbers. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please bet responsibly. And please, if you are inclined to take any amount of money that is more than 1% of your weekly salary and go large on any game, you need to reconsider things. That's just my perspective on that. All right, disclaimers out of the way. A couple other games I'm looking at. The Oklahoma State TCU game intrigues me because TCU just had this huge win last week against Kansas in Kansas. And Oklahoma State just had a shootout win last week over Texas Tech. I'm inclined to say that in a game like this with two undefeated teams that are both scoring a lot of points, I think the over is the play. And I know it's 68.5. It's a huge number. But again, remember, I always tell you guys, watch what they're telling you, okay? What the odds makers are telling you. This is a 4-point spread. It opened at 60.5. So why is that relevant? That's relevant because that means that people who are placing bets push this game to be a higher number than it is. And people with money push this game from what was originally a pick'em to a 4-point spread for TCU. A 68.5 means that you're talking about a 34-30 game. That is mathematically almost impossible in football. It would have to be 35-30, or it would be 35-28, or it would be 31-27. Those are football scores. Remember, 6 and 7, do the math. It doesn't add up. It's very hard to get 34 out of that number. So the odds makers are telling you without telling you that the numbers on the board don't add up. And as Dave Sherapan, I've heard him say numerous times, we've had him on the show, bad math is always a sign for you to pay attention when it comes to these odds makers. So that's part of the reason why I'm saying the over, because I'm a big believer in sometimes people tell you something without actually verbalizing it. They do it through action, right? And the other game I'm definitely intrigued by in college football this weekend when it comes to the numbers that I've seen. Don't mind me, I'm watching the clock because I'm trying to make sure I get out of here by a certain time. The game I mentioned to Gino earlier, USC at Utah. Really quick, this game is at Utah. Utah has 2 losses on the year. They're undefeated at home, but 2 losses on the road. USC is undefeated. This is a 3.5 point spread. So either Utah is going to end up dominating this game, or this is going to be a close game from beginning to end. My instinct says USC covers the 3.5. All right, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all who are watching, and I'll try to get in a special YouTube only show tomorrow. Like, comment, share. I'm Josh Hennig on YouTube, at Josh Hennig on Twitter, Joshua S. Hennig on Instagram. Game night on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app.